Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel Crazy Coders. Today we will create a guess game using Python. So let's start. First of all, let's see the end product of the code we're gonna write. That is the game we're gonna create. So let's play the game to understand the working. I will run the Python file on the terminal. I'm using VS Code. It doesn't matter any code editor, it works the same. So yeah, as I implemented, the first line is a greeting, which says, "Hello traveler, welcome to the game of guesses." Yes, that's cool. A greeting is a very good thing. And on the second line, it is asking me a question that says, "What is your name?" Yes, it's asking me my name. I will enter my name. It's okay, full name or half name. Okay, so another greeting and a question. This time it says, "Hi, within Madas, my name." And the question is, "Would you like to play the guessing game?" And it's giving me option to enter yes or no. Yes, I want to enter. Sorry, yes, I want to play. Okay, now the messages are, there is currently no high score. It's yours for the taking. Okay, it means this is like a first attempt to play. And there's no high score, and the game has started because it is asking me a question. Pick a number between 1 and 10. So let's play game. Let's pick 8. Okay, so my guess was wrong, so it's giving me a hint. Let's try according to the hint. So it might be 5. It's higher than 5. Might be 7. Yes, I got it in 3 attempts. It's asking me, this is a success message. Yes, nice, you got it. And it is letting me know that how many attempts I took. Would you like to play the game? It's again asking me question with 2 options, yes or no. Yes, I will enter. Yes, I want to play the game. Okay, it is displaying the current high score here. I played once and I got it in 3 attempts, and that's my high score. Let's play once more, and this time let's start with 7. It's lower than 7. Okay, the hints are really helping out. It's lower than 4, then it might be 2. It's lower than 2, so it is 1, right? Yeah, I got this time. I got in 4 attempts. Let's play again. The high score will be same. Yes, that's the lowest attempt I took to win. This time let's enter an invalid number. Let's see what happens. As I input a name, the output is, oh no, that is not a valid value. Yes, that also makes sense, because yeah, this is not a number. It's an invalid literal for int. It's again asking me a number. Let's input 2. It's higher than 5. 5 is also higher. It's higher than 5, then it might be okay. It's higher than 7, then maybe 9. Yeah, it took me 4 attempts. So as now we understand what we're gonna create, let's stop playing and start coding. So let's go. Let's go. I've created a new Python file and I named it guessgame.py. So let's quickly declare the required functions. We'll explain it in a while. For time being, let's keep them empty. I will call our start game function using this method. So yes, the basic skeleton of our game has been prepared. We have created 2 functions. One function is to show the score, that is high score, and one function, this is the main function of the program that will actually contain all the functionalities to play a game, to accept a number, to display success message, to calculate the higher or lower of the guess number. So a lot of things this function is to do. So okay, and we are calling it in this way. Actually, this is underscore name is a special variable in Python which actually helps us to detect is this
file executed or imported. Okay, when we run the file, it's actually executed. Then when we run the file, the code in this else if statement executes. If we export the file, only the code in this does not execute because this evaluates to be false. So in simple words, this condition helps us to know either this file is imported or this file is executed. So that's the point. When you create an function based program, we actually use this because we might import this function to use in another program, so other file contents remained only to this program. So yeah, that's a simple explanation. So first define, let's code the show score function. So what will this do? This will eventually check that there has been any plays of this game. If there is a play, there might be an high score, right? If you play, no matter how many attempts you take, if you play your first game, that will be your high score, right? So let's define, okay, let's declare an empty list. Okay, let's name it attempt list, and what we'll do is we check if it's empty or like length of attempt list is less than equal to 0, then it means that there hasn't been any one who played this game on particular execution. So let's print there is currently no high score. It's your clicking. Okay, that makes sense. Now if it's not empty, there has been an element in the list. It means there has been a player who successfully won the game, and the number of attempts it took will be high score. So let's print the current high score is curly brackets attempts. So what this does, this will replace, it's actually formatting. So let's complete the statement first. Format min of attempt list. The minimum of the attempt will be the high score, right? So minimum of attempt list. So this will return minimum of the list, minimum of the attempts we took, and what this does is actually, you can consider it as a value, and this replaces these curly brackets are replaced by this value. So yeah, so first function is ready, we can use it now. Let's define our main function. Let's create some space, and okay, the first thing we're gonna do is generate a random number. Okay, let's name it random dot and end. Let's give it range 1, 10. Okay, so actually random is a module and we are using randint function from its value, so we have to import random. So let's import random. Okay, we have imported, then it will work perfectly, this perfectly execute. So now let's print a greeting. Okay, let's keep it simple. Hello, welcome to game of guesses. Okay, cool. Now let's ask player his name. Okay, what is your name? Okay, what is your name with question mark, and let's store this value in a variable called player name. Okay, now let's ask the user we want to play or not. Input hi name of the user, hi would you like to play a game of guess. Okay, so let's give him options also. Enter yes / no. Okay, that's great. Now actually, since we use curly brackets, let's replace it with a variable player name that we wanted. So this will actually print hi player name, which is a player name that we asked before, and here asking a question. So that's the end of the statement. Now let's store the input in a variable name we wanna play. Okay, now let's check if the input, if the user has if user want to play or not. If wanna play is play is equal to s, so user might input in any case. Let's, for safety, let's lower the input, let's lowercase the input, and let's check. Okay, so wanna play, if wanna play is equal to yes, means if user want to play, if user has entered yes, then let's show him the score, show him the current score, and that's it. Let's declare a variable attempts to check how many attempts he took. This variable will help us to determine how many attempts a user took to win a game, and this will also help us to determine the high score. Okay, so now the next important thing is to ask the user input until he gets right. So for this I will use while loop. Let's use while loop. The condition I will use is wanna play. So while true means if wanna play dot lowercase is equal to yes, that means if user want to play a game, if user inputted a yes, then I'll run this loop. We will actually code in a try expect block. This is very useful in when you are asking a lot of inputs, when your program is based on inputs, because if there are wrong inputs the program crashes. So to avoid that we use try expect block to actually not crash the program with wrong input. We just store that error, and we might use the error to display as well. Okay, so that's the point of using try expect block. So let's code now. Let's ask user num, and let's actually put it in guest name variable. So I have declared a guest name variable, and I'm asking him a number to pick a number 1 to 10. Okay, so now usually in Python the input is string, so let's convert into int. Now this the input will be between 1 to 10 and it will be stored in a guest. Okay, so now what happens, now we have to check a lot of things here. If first of all let's check if the input is within range or not. If guess num is less than 1 or guess num is greater than 10, these two conditions are not a valid input. If guess number is less than 1 or greater than 10, then that's not a valid input. So let's raise an error. Let's say value error. What will display is please enter value in range. Now one condition is satisfied. Now let's check another condition. If guess num, this is our most important
condition if guess num is equal to random. This actually checks if user has correctly guessed the number. So it means user, if this condition is true, then user has correctly guessed the number. So let's print a success message. Nice, you got it. And now what we'll do is, so yes, we have displayed a success message. If user has guessed it correctly, we need to print a success message. Then what we'll do is we'll increment and okay, let's first code other conditions. Elif guess number is greater than random number. What this means, if guess number is greater than random number, it means user had guessed it wrong. So we have to give him a hint. So if guess number is greater than random number, let's give him a hint that the random number is less than what you enter. So let's keep it like this. It's lower. Another condition will be elif guess num is less than random. This time print the random number is, the computer generated number is higher because your input is less than, your guess is less than computer generated number. So those conditions are satisfied. Now one more thing we have to do is like we have to accept, right? If there are any input errors, we can calculate, expect, we can get them like this, except value error as err. So it will store that whatever value error it has raised, will store it in this variable, and now we can print it. So saying invalid input and print the error message as well. Let's print. Okay, so we'll use this formatting as well. Okay, so now let's format it. Formatting is very good. Practice, as I mentioned earlier, format err. So this curly braces will be replaced by this value. So we have done the most of the cases. If it's true, if it's equal, you get a success message. If it's not equal, if it's greater, then you get a hint. And if your input is wrong, if your input is in wrong range, you will get an error message. If your input is not an valid input, then it will raise a invalid input error, also value error as well. So now if, for example, if the user enters no, if the user don't want to play in the first attempt only, like he ran the code and he don't want to play, so what we'll do is we will use this as while else. It is called while else. It will execute only when this hasn't been executed. Means if while loop doesn't run, then it will execute this. So this will, while loop will not run if wanna play is no. So we'll print bye because he don't want to play. So let's print bye. So now most of the things are done. Now another important part of this game is if he gets right, we'll ask him, do you want to play again? And before that, actually there's one more important thing, attempts. So see, if he gets right, that's great. If he doesn't get right, then we have to increment his attempts by 1. Okay, so like we can do like this as well. This is short. So attempts will be incremented every time he gets wrong. That's great. If it's less or slow, even if he gets right, that will be considered as an attempt. So let's increment it there as well. So now we'll have to ask. If he gets right, we'll have to ask him, do you want to play again or not? So let's create another variable for that. Play again is equal to input. Let's ask him, do you wanna play again? So if with a question mark, and let's give options as well. Yes / no. Okay. Now if play game dot lowercase, so user might enter in any case, so we have to for safety use this. If wanna play again dot lower is equal to no, then break, end this loop. Okay, so then if he enters no, then the loop will end and the game will end as well. So if he enters yes, then the loop will learn again. Loop will iterate again, and it will keep asking him again with a new number. So that's great. Now let's also show score when he gets right. And one more important thing we forgot is to append the attempts, number of attempts in append attempts list, which will help us to, as I say, to display the high score, right? The player who got the attempt list attempts with least number of times, who got it right but by playing only once or twice, and he will be mostly in high scores, right? So that's great. Now I think a program is done mostly. All the important things are covered. So let's run a program. You might get into bugs, but let's I think that's the one. Let's make my terminal big. It's running, it is very slow. Okay, so it is printing a greeting message, and on the second line it's asking me a question. So let's enter my name. So yeah, good. It's printing another greeting, and it's asking me a question. Do I want to play a game of guesses? Yes, I want to play. Okay, now it is also showing me the score message, like there is currently no high score, it's your fatiguing, and the game has started. Let's pick a number 1. So my input was wrong, it's giving me hint. Now let's try 4 according to hint. It's higher than 4, then let's try 7. Nice, you got it. Do you want to play again? It's asking me. Yes, I got it right. And yes, it's a success message. But one thing we missed to mention, the number of attempts the player took to win this game. Now let's not play. Okay, the current high score is 3 attempts, so we actually misplaced this. Now let's modify our code. Let's delete it. The terminal. Now what we need to do is we also need to display number of attempts we took. So let's ask him, let's let him know it took again formatting, took him attempts. So now this way curly braces will be replaced by this attempts. Great. What it will print is it took attempts. So this value of this variable will be showed here, will be displayed here. Now What we misplaced is this show score. We should actually place it before before asking input. And one more thing, let's also, if the user enters no, then let's also print a bye message. Yeah, that's great. Now our program is complete. We can play this game. You can modify it, you can build your own versions, you can put attempt limit, etc. Now that's it. Let's for the final time play the game. Yes, a greeting message and a question asking name, a greeting message with name and a question asking how I want to play or not. Yes, I want to play. There's currently no high score message, and the game started with a big number. Okay, it's higher, it's lower, it's higher, then might be 4. Yes, you got it. It took 4 attempts. The current high score is 4 attempts. If you want to improve your high score, then you should play again. Pick a number 3, 4. I got this right. So it took me 6 attempts. So that's actually a logic error. We should that is should attempts are adding up. So let's modify that as well. So what's happening here is actually attempts 0. I think should be where it should be. I think attempts 0. Okay. Let's, if user has got it correct, and so we have to bring the attempts value of attempts variable to 0 because user has got it, and if user want to play again, it will start from 0. That's great. Let's play again. Okay, I'm not playing good. 9. Invalid input. Yes, my input was out of range, so that's why this is also working. Okay, the current high score is 2, but one more issue I am recognizing is the random number is not changing. So yes, we should do that as well. If user has successfully guessed the number, we should change the random number as well. So now yes, we will put this in this block. Yes, so that's, I think, the entire program. It will work completely fine. Now let's in short tell you, I will let you know in short what this program does. So it has 2 functions: show score, start game. Show score is used to display the high score. If there is no high score, is not even one attempt to play the game, then it will print this. And if the user has played even once, then that is the high score. The minimum of the attempt list will be the high score. And the second function is start game, which will first of all generate a random number, then print a greeting and ask the user for a name, then ask him do you want to play or not with a greeting along with his name. And if the user has inputted yes, then it will show score. Then we declared a variable no attempts, which will be used to check how many attempts the user took. Then we run a while loop to keep asking him how many times, to keep asking him to pick a number until he gets into one of this condition, until he enters this condition. And we have used try except block to actually make our game do not crash, because when the inputs are very cheeky, because if your program is based on inputs, then user might input wrong things, and this will make your game crash. To avoid this, we use try except block. Now first thing is it will ask a number, it will store in this in an int form, and it will check all the conditions. First condition, is it in range or not? If it's not in range, it will print that value is not in range. And if it's equal, then it will print a success message. It will increment attempts. It will also let him know how many attempts it took. and it will append, means it will include this, it will add this value to the attempt list which we created here. So yes, now then he will show, then he will be shown a source score which we defined earlier, and then we will ask him again, do you want to play, yes or no. If eventually if yes, then that's great. If no, then we have to break it with a print message. If yes, then we generate a new random number with an attempt list becoming 0. Then this loop will run again. If no, then it will break and game will end. So the second condition here is if it's greater. If the guess number is greater, then we'll give this hint and increase the number of attempts he took. If the guess number is less, then we'll print this. He give him this hint and we'll increase the attempts. So now if there are any another value errors, then it will be stored in this value, and this variable we'll use here to print. So this is all about it, and yeah, thank you.